Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's David here. And just wanted to share with you this morning a bit about the course that's coming up, the Dads in Recovery. And to be honest, I struggle a little bit with talking about it. And I'm maybe not the video expert, but I'm really good at helping men find themselves, see their role in their job as a dad. And how did I get that way? Well, I am a dad, and my kids have grown up, and I'm a dad in recovery. And I remember back several years ago, quite a few years ago actually, when I had been married my second time and had my third child, and it was in so much doubt about whether I was doing a good job or not. And I didn't have men in my life, or very many men in my life that I could talk to about it. And so most of the advice I was getting was from the women in my life, and God blessed them. They were beautiful, the mothers of my children, but they didn't really know a lot about being a dad. They kind of wanted me to be a better mom, I think. So I struggled with that. And I personally went and found men who were dads, who were doing the job, and who were good examples for me. But it was a long way about to get there for me. In my own life, my own dad was also an alcoholic and not so involved. I was one of five and kids, and often I think I would disappear and they didn't know where I was, and it didn't seem to, I kind of ran my own show from the time I was about 13. And so what I see around me is lots and lots of men who are struggling with being the dad that they want to be, and it's not talked about very often. It really isn't, and something shifted in our society over the years, and dad's role is a little uncertain, and so there's a lot of men in fear. My God, I've interviewed dozens and dozens and dozens of men, and I've been working with men for a number of years on this subject, and often they're just not certain what to do, how to be involved, and lately there's been a number of men in my life where their kids have actually have died, and men are full of grief and uncertainty about did they do a good job, and were they really there, and so my job is to help dads to realize how important their job is as a father. I mean, it's unbelievable, the statistics if you look it up. It's kids from fatherless homes are more likely to have teenage pregnancy. They're more likely not to finish high school. They're more likely to be incarcerated for crimes. So we need to be there. We need to show up. And even if the family as we know it is no longer, we're not with the mother of our children, we need to heal those relationships, and be there for our kids. And so my job is to help men to rebuild those relationships with their kids, and to literally to be there, however it can be, and no matter what we've done or haven't done, it starts again, starts now, so I'm putting this out. I'm talking about it, and as much as I can to share the information, of what's needed, and so if you have, say, teenage kids. Gosh, I remember when my kids were teenage and they were drinking and using, and how afraid I was, and if you have teenage kids and you need, want to build that relationship with them. It needs to be a trusted relationship with them, and maybe that needs to start long before they're teenagers. But when they get to being teenagers, we want them to be able to come to us, right, and talk to us, and I mean, often they create their peer group, and they want to be cool, and all of that kind of stuff, but the relationship with dad has to be as good as possible. And so if you have teenage kids, and sometimes men are no longer with the family, my job is to help you to build that relationship with your kids. And it doesn't really matter how old your kids are, they need you. And my job is to help you break the chain. Now, let's say it's not that way in in your house or in your life, but with me, when I first sobered up, my daughter was 6 months old, and she was a motivator. She was really a motivator for me. I didn't think that much about myself. In a way, I was obsessed with myself, but like most addicts and alcoholics are. But I didn't really, in the beginning. I got sober because I wanted to be a dad. And there she was, and she was 6 months old, and it was like, holy shit, I have to show up. But I wanted to break the chain also of generational addiction and alcoholism in my family. And we got to do that. So this is what this course is about, is helping us be more committed, more involved, more trusted as a dad. And so if you're one of those people that wants to be more of those things, more involved, and it's uncertain. I mean, we don't talk about it in the rooms that much. It's not a topic that we talk about, parenting and being a father, or if you're a mother and you'd like your husband to be more involved, or the father of your child more involved and trusted in the relationship with your kids, then talk to me. We're going to start a program. It's going to be a live program in October, and yeah. So I'm looking to share this with not a big group of men, maybe 10 to 15 men that we'll do this program with, and yeah, that's it, I guess. Talk to me, and we'll see where it goes from here. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Cheers.